Well, hello there, everybody. This is JSuit117 coming to you from BOO100's Perfect Plot server, and we are here today to do a perfect tree video. We are going to build a tree today, and hopefully it'll give you some good tips and it'll give you a little bit of insight on how I build my custom trees here in Minecraft on this server. So here we are in my plot here on the server. This plot is for the Legion of Doom's headquarters. I've been working on this for a few weeks now, trying to get the shape just right. This is kind of the second iteration that I've built here. First one I tore down because I didn't like the shape of it, and then I came up with this one. So hopefully it looks pretty darn good at this point, but we're not here to look at that. We are here to look at some trees. So I'm going to build one of these trees here for you. I've called these swamp trees because this takes place in a swamp. So we are going to build one of these swamp trees in this area right over here. How about we pick a spot right here? This looks like a nice big open spot here. So I'm using some stripped dark oak for my my trunk. So what we're going to do is we're going to build the trunk up. Not too tall. We don't want it going all the way to the sky. We don't want to block out our the building here. But we want to make it about 6 or 7 blocks tall. And then from here, we're going to build out 3 branches. So we don't want them straight. That doesn't look too good. So let's make sure that our branches have a little bit of character, that they're going in an angle, that they're random like real trees. Tree branches don't grow straight out in real life. They have their own personality and life to them. So they're going to go off in certain different angles. Let's look at a branch like that, and let's make 2 more going in 2 other directions so that we make it almost like a spiral here. And remember, just to make it randoms. Even if you think like you misplace a block, just go with the flow. Maybe the tree is growing in that direction. So we have these two. These two kind of look almost the same way. This one's just going out this way. This one's going out that way. Maybe we make this one a little bit different. Maybe this one starts a little bit lower. Let's go crazy. Let's start this low. You start pretty low. He's going to come out, and then he's going to shoot up a little bit. Remember, make this just random. Just random. Random. Random is going to be the best. And then he shoots out maybe this way. And then he forks off. Whoops. And go up a little bit. And make sure to give your branches a little bit of a different height variation too. Let's go really high with that one. There you go. Here, now we got the tall, medium, and the short one. And then at this point, I usually break off some excess logs here just to trim it down a little bit. We don't need all these logs taking up all the space. But definitely make sure that you make sure that the logs are connecting, even if it's at that little junction right there. So there we have our skeleton of our tree. Give you a good look at it. Doesn't have to be much, but just enough to give you an idea of where to start. So from here we'll go to the leaves. For these trees I've picked the azalea leaves. I feel like they are a very good fit for this swampy area. They're not too green. They look just a little bit dim, a little bit soupy. I feel like they would go perfect in this swamp. So, and from this point, all you want to do is start spamming some leaves. You don't want to go out too far at the beginning. Just kind of cover the very tips of the branches at first. And like I said, just spam it until you're comfortable with your shape. Remember, you don't want things looking too square. Trees aren't typically square in real life. And then since this is kind of a swamp, we want to have these little leaves drooping down a little bit, almost like vines. Yes, I know there's actual vines in the game, but this kind of gives it a weeping willow-esque vibe to it without actually being a weeping willow. We just want to keep on adding some more leaves. And we'll just make it completely random. Completely random and not square. And it's okay if you have some log showing. That just, in fact, if you want to, you can bust out some of these leaves and put a log in here and there, just to show that there's some branches poking out. And on this side, this one's actually looking pretty decent. Add a few down there. I'm gonna have a few leaves poking out here and there, just to give it some character. Give it a little bit of a canopy. There we go. Let's take that one out. That was bothering me. And then this side looks a little bit flat right here. And we can just fix that with maybe a few little leaves poking out there. There, that looks nice. And then what you want to do is lather, rinse, repeat on these next two branches. It's completely random. This is a lot easier to do in a creative world as opposed to survival. Survival, I will do a tree like this in probably a half hour, 45 minutes to get it all right the way I wanted it to, as opposed to how we're going to do it here in about, hopefully about 5 minutes. And have some leaves drooping down. What I try to do is I try not to have these little droopy vines. I don't want them at the same length. You always want to have them at different lengths. See how this one's, we have three different droops going on there. One more drooping off right there. That's not looking too bad. And a few more. Then we work on this side right here. Let's get rid of these bamboos for the moment, just so we can have some room to maneuver. Here we go. Just spam them on in there. Do a good spam job. Pull back. Take a look at what you've done. Always make sure you go all the way around your build to make sure it's looking good at every angle. You never know who's going to come by and take a look at your build at a certain angle and go, "Oh, that doesn't look right from this angle." Or if you're like me and you just want to be a perfectionist, just go back and look at it at every angle. Take off a few leaves here and there. Extend out the canopy. Remember, you don't want it to be too structured. Completely random, like a real tree in real life. Take a look back at what we got here. Yep, that's looking pretty darn good. Let's take this log out. Yeah, their shapes are looking pretty good, pretty random. Not too square. Got a couple little droops going on there. And we're looking pretty good. Alright, from here we want to add a little bit of shape to the trunk. Oop, like that. There we go. Let's add a little bit of shape to the trunk. I start from the bottom. And this is where we really start to give the tree some character. Now from here we can decide if we wanted to go straight up and down or give it a lean-to. These other trees around here, they don't have too much of a lean-to. So we don't have to give it too much extra blocks down here. Let's just thicken the trunk up a little bit. Maybe it's growing this way just a little bit slightly. And we're gonna give it a little bit of extra angle there. So I'm using strip dark oak, and the closest I could find that would kind of match it is the spruce planks. It's not 100% to my liking, but it's pretty close. And from looking far away, you can't really tell too much if you look at that tree back there. So I like to use the stairs and the slabs to give it some texture and definition. And what we can do is flare the tree outwards. Let's give it a little bit of a, yeah, that's look good there. A little bit of extra widening in the base of the trunk. And then also from here, we flare out some roots. So that's looking pretty good there. And then let's not forget this side. We don't want this side to be flat. So we'll do this. And then we'll give it a little bit of a stair action going on there. There we go. Now we got a little bit of a base to it, and then from here we can add some stairs here if we wanted to give it an extra shape going around this way, a little curvature. We can do it right there. That might be okay too. And then the slabs are also pretty darn good for making some extra branches as well. We can just add a few going up into the tree. Maybe a stair. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I don't typically like to have them on a straight line like this. I like to give them a little bit of a curvature, like I've been doing. It curves out this way and then goes back into the tree, but that still works right there. Or maybe we'll fix it. There we go. That makes me happy. Now we don't have to spam those all over the tree. I mean, having them in these two spots will be just fine. We don't have to have little branches going everywhere. And then from there, we'll add some smaller branches in the way of fences. So all we have to do is just add a few fences here and there. Again, this can be in a semi-spammed notion. If you want to, you can take off a few leaves here and there to put the branches on the inside of the tree, give it a little bit of depth. And what I always try to avoid, I know other folks can do it, and it's okay if you want to do it, but I'd never like to put two branches or two fence posts right next to each other in a tree, because hey, that kind of looks like a fence instead of an actual branch. And then to kind of simulate some more vines, we can have some branches within these leaves here. Oop. They're just hanging off. These leaves are hanging off these vines here. There you go. A little bit more character going on there. We'll add one over here too. Boop. Boop. Yeah, that's starting to look pretty darn good. Let's add a few more fences and see to give it some more branches here. Don't be afraid to put them next to each other. Don't be afraid to even cover a few up. But like I said, you want to make sure that this tree is looking good from every angle. Get out of here, you daggone bamboo! Ruining my viewpoint. So if you look up here, this is looking a little bit like a square. If we take that off, put that back there. There, that kind of curves it off a little bit more. You just want to go through and make sure it's looking good from every angle. If you see a bare spot that you feel like there can be something put in there, this is the time to do it. I feel like there can be maybe another branch right up there, kind of poking through the top. Same for right here. Maybe right up here too. Oh, not there. Right there. There we go. Alright. This tree is looking pretty darn fine if you ask me. Whoop, not that one. That one. There you go. There we go. Let's take this one. There we go. A cool little tree in about less than 10 minutes. And if you're doing this in survival, you're probably looking at about half an hour if you want to scaffold all around. And then, you know, make sure you're looking good from every angle if you want to even look from the top. Because folks are going to be, you know, flying over the top with their elytras. They want to look down, see a nice pleasant tree. Even though it looks pretty darn good from the top too. I would say I'm pretty darn happy with this tree. And I hope you folks are too. So here we are. I think that's a pretty good tree for the day. Hope you got some good tips from it. And I will see you next time. And don't be afraid to let your imagination run wild. See ya!